Hello and welcome to Self Care Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as black girls. I'm BB and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. So, hello. I hope everybody is doing well. Today's episode is actually a part 2 to my entrepreneurship journey. This was requested. I forgot by who, but it was requested. So I'm giving you all a part 2. Before we get started, I wanted to let you all know that the tea that I'm drinking today is the same one that I drank which episode was that? I believe it was episode, I'm not sure. The one released on October 16th. I believe that's the episode that I had this tea in, but it's the Bigelow Vanilla Chai. There's a link to where you can purchase it on my website under the tea tab. Yeah, so without further ado, we're going to get into the episode. So, like I said, this episode is about my entrepreneurship journey. This is part 2. In this episode, wow. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing, some of the behind the scene things that not many people think about when they either choose to start a business, or thinking about starting a business, or just outsiders looking in, some stuff that nobody really knows there's the full idea about. So the first one is the ups and the downs. In other words, selling, providing a service, or not selling, not providing that service. There will be times like that. You won't get a sale or provide a service every day, and that's okay. That's one of the first things that I learned really quickly when I started my business, Brandon's Boutique, and even this podcast. When I first started, I think I posted, maybe 4 or 5 episodes before I started realizing, like, hey, people are actually listening to me. And that was my motivation to, keep going. And it's gonna happen to everybody. It happens to everybody, with the exception of like those humongous brands like Apple and Calvin Klein and brands like that. So you have to get used to selling, not selling, providing, not providing. You will get to where you want to be at some point, and you will get orders every day. But in the beginning, it's rough. You're not going to get those everyday orders, but if you keep praying, manifest, you will get them. The next thing are the hidden or forgotten. And I put quotes around those, hidden, forgotten cost, because it's more forgotten than it is hidden. But when you're pricing your products and service, it becomes a hidden cost. So what I mean by hidden or forgotten costs are like packaging, your website domain, your website, anything that is not the product or service itself that you're selling, providing. Like if you're doing someone's hair, for instance, and you have them buy the hair. Well, they're not buying the part and comb, they're not buying the flat iron, they're not buying the gel, they're not buying that stuff. So you have to put that into the price plus whatever you charge for that particular service. And the same thing goes for selling a product. The product itself, you already have a base price for, but you've also got to consider what else goes into that, like packaging, how many different, how snazzy and pretty are you trying to make your packaging, your same thing for your website domain name, all that stuff. So it's really easy to forget about those costs and not adequately charge based off of how much you've spent to get this business going. And then it also becomes hidden and forgotten when you come to that final price, because you have competition. You don't want to overprice your stuff and then not get customers or clients, and you don't want to underprice yourself, because then you won't make enough money to repurchase, re-up on everything that you've used to get this business going. So make sure you all pay attention to those things and try not to have them become hidden or forgotten cost. The next thing is social media marketing. This one is perhaps to me the hardest because if you start out with no type of support, then you're gonna have to pay. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. If you start out with no social media platform, like you don't have anything, and you're solely reliant on yourself, maybe your mom, your dad, family members to get the word out about your brand, then it's going to be kind of hard in the beginning, but you can build from that. There's Facebook ads, there's Instagram ads, Google ads. You can get yourself out there without breaking the bank too much. Or if you want to go the cheaper route, which is what I'm doing, the free route, you want to build your social media presence. You want to post, maybe once or twice a day, 2 to 3 if you have the time to do that. Use the right hashtags. Try not to use one like on Instagram, for instance. Try not to use the hashtag explore because, a lot of people use that hashtag. And there's several posts being put up every second of every day. So if you use that, your picture will easily get drowned out. Use some that usually have less than 1 million. Even better if it's less than 500,000. The lower the number that's higher than about 10,000, the better it is for your promoting to be seen by somebody. So try not to use a hashtag with fewer than about 10,000 posts, but try not to use one of those really, really big ones because the possibility of your post being drowned out, what was I saying? Oh, the possibility of your post being drowned out becomes higher when you use more common, frequently used hashtags. So yeah, the social media marketing. I kind of fell off with that one. And I did see a difference, like my site wasn't being viewed as often. So if you keep up a social media presence, the easier it is for you to be noticed. And I learned that the hard way, but I learned, so lesson learned. The next thing is keeping up with inventory and making sure I don't oversell. This one is, at the moment kind of easy because I'm not getting that many sales. It's sad to say, but I'm not. So keeping up with how many of this particular earring or this particular lash or shade or hairpin is so easy. But in the future, I do foresee myself needing to get a some type of inventory tracker to make sure I don't oversell, because the last thing I would want to do is have to email somebody saying, hey, I don't have any more of this product. I can issue you a full refund and yada, 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 because that's a sale lost, and you don't want to do that. So for now, I've been tracking my inventory in a notebook and keeping up with it like that, making sure I don't sell a product to somebody that I don't have in stock. So yeah. And then the last thing that I should have actually done a little bit more on is research and getting advice from others. So when starting a business, you really want to do some research. You want to research who you're trying to sell to, what you're trying to sell to those people, and stuff like that. And you want to go to YouTube, go to people's blogs who are already selling products and actually getting consistent sales, and listen to what they have to say. Listen to how they started and how they got to where they are now. So make sure you do your research and get advice from other people. I didn't do that much research. Like I knew what I wanted to sell, but how to sell, how to get sales, what to sell, who to sell to was not my main concern. And I guess that's why I'm struggling a little bit now, but lesson learned. I'm putting myself out there more, and I do see a difference. But that's all that I have for you all today. If you all would like a part 3 on my entrepreneurship journey, then let me know. Facebook, Instagram, let me know, and I will provide that for you all. Thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you all next week. Bye. Thanks for listening this week. If you have any questions, want to share a story, or be featured in our Q&As, send them to me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com or submit them on my blog at selfcareblackgirls.com. While you're over there, subscribe and join so you never miss anything. Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes to help spread the word. You can also donate one time or monthly by clicking on the Patreon link on my blog. There are rewards. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to stay beautiful.